Maybe it wouldn't. Oh, and Steele Juliana goes past Nick Klass, and Nick Klass leaves the circuit. Well, Nick Klass battles back onto the circuit. If we were to get a film of this race at the end of it, if all we did was watch kart number 91, Nicola Klass, it would be stunning entertainment. Steele Juliana muscling past Nicola Klass, and Nick Klass, well, just having to go on the grass. And kart number 11, which is Mats van der Brand, goes past Phil Howarth. So Mats van der Brand in kart 11 goes into 4th place at the expense of Phil Howarth. Now Jack Hawksworth is 3rd. Can Mats van der Brand get himself onto the podium? Team TKP driver driving the Energy chassis, Mats van der Brand, and everybody using the full width of the circuit. It's a very eventful junior final, isn't it? Mats van der Brand now in front of Philip Howarth. Philip Howarth has driven well in this meeting. I have been impressed with him. Young Englishman, don't see him racing in my own country of England an awful lot. He's from Bristol in the west of England, a former Minimax champion in 2005, only 13 years old, but a good driver. There we see Jack Hawksworth to boot. Mr. Graham Smith, a journalist from England, just going across the field in shot in my camera. There is Jack Hawksworth. Jack Hawksworth driving for the Pro Train Racing team. Yorick Pex leads David Sutton. Here is Jack Hawksworth. Made his international debut in October 2004. Only started karting in March 2004. He wasn't one of these guys who started when he was 6 or 7. You see the gaps between the drivers. Pex to Sutton is 1.653. And then Sutton to Hawksworth 2.125, but Mats van der Brand a lot closer. As you see on the top of your screen, going through now is Jack Hawksworth 3rd, but 4th Mats van der Brand, 5th is Philip Howarth, then comes Kazuki Hiramine. Kazuki Hiramine from Japan, living now in England, or temporarily living in England to learn English. He's got some exams to take shortly and he's not looking forward to it. Kazuki Hiramine, kart number 14 was telling me. But this is Mats van der Brand in shot. Very nice lad. Mats van der Brand and Nick Voss, number 10, are teammates. But although Mats van der Brand won round 1, it was Nick Voss who came into this meeting in the championship lead. Teammates they are. As you can see, he trails Jack Hawksworth by 2.69 seconds, or something like that, 2.39. We're deep into the final quarter of the race. It's only a 14-lap race. And again on screen we're seeing Mats van der Brand leading, just pulling away a little bit from Phil Howarth in 4th place. 76 is Yorick Pex, so it's Holland, England, England, Holland, England, Japan, Australia, Estonia, and Nicola Klass of Belgium. Christoph Gasperitz completes the top 10. He is from Latvia. Well, can anybody lower the colours of Yorick Pex in the final? In the meeting proper, he's not quite had the full house because David Sutton was able to catch him. But going on to the final bend once again, you would think that that's a race-winning lead, wouldn't you? Don't want to put the mockers on, so I'll say no more. What I will tell you is that 12 laps have been completed and there are only 2 to go. 1.85 seconds between Yorick Pex, who's just set the fastest lap, 57.575. So Yorick Pex sets the fastest lap, has a lead over David Sutton of 1.8 seconds. Jack Hawksworth 2.69, 1 seconds behind, but 76 is Yorick Pex. Pex Racing, the brother of Yard Pex, who is racing in the senior class, not with quite the same success as Yorick, but then Yorick's taking just about everything before him. Smooth driver, isn't he? And I've said before in commentary, he looks over his left shoulder. Yorick has a hand-arm wrist movement, almost as if he's at home playing with a PlayStation 2. But the body nice and soft, no erratic body movement, a really smooth drive. No doubt Jos Verstappen has taught him many of these basic skills. Jos Verstappen, Formula 1 driver, incidentally driving next week in the A1 GP qualifying round at Zandvoort in his native Holland. So if you want to go along to the Zandvoort A1 GP meeting next week, cheer Jos Verstappen, because he's supported the Rotax Euro Challenge and he certainly supports this man, the race lead, or this man, this 13-year-old boy, Yorick Pex. Well, right from the very opening day as we start the last lap, Yorick Pex was unknown to most people. We were in free practice, there was no kart data timing. Oh, and he was a bit soaring then, wasn't he, with the steering wheel a little bit. But all the lads were saying, hey, there's this new kid who's half a second quicker than everybody else. Well, I have to tell you, you often hear these stories. There's a newcomer quicker than everybody else by half a second, and often it's not true. It's true in the case of Yorick Pex. Cart number 76, coming round, punching the air, takes the checkered flag. Bas Kaligis takes the photograph, and Yorick Pex wins it from David Sutton in second place. Jack Hawksworth comes home in third place. Mats van der Brand eventually up to fourth. Philip Howarth, a very creditable fifth place. Kazuki Hiramini of Japan was sixth. Steele Juliana of Australia seventh. Kevin Korjus of Estonia 8th, Nicola Kleis of Belgium 9th, and completing the top 10, Daniel Schellnegger of Austria. But in view once again, it's cart number 76. We shall see him later on the podium, and I promise you, I'm not going to call him angelic looking, because he's not angelic looking, but you wouldn't see him in the supermarket with his mum and say, there's a hard driving motor racer. But I promise you, he's one for the future. Well, Yorick Pex just makes his way around on the slow down lap there. You see the marshal's flags waving. Looks as if he won by a mile there, doesn't it? Just comes in front of me and into the pit lane area. Kevin Korjus going through, I see, in cart 24, who was 8th. But out of our view now, the race winner, Yorick Pex. Confirmed by our caption, won by a margin of 1.985 seconds. I do believe David Sutton just eased off a little bit at the end, as indeed was sensible. So the first 5 places were Britons and Dutch, but Yorick Pex the winner. Let's go down to Martin's, see if we can have some more fun in the paddock studio. Well, in fact, I'm just seeing the graphics on my screen, so rather than go down to Martin, let's have a look and see. Nick Voss eventually up to 18th. That was a good effort by him. Well done, Nick. The championship leader, but he's not done his championship aspirations a lot of good in this meeting. Nick Van Klinken was 16th. Laura Kryhammer eventually finishing in the top 20. The only lady in the event, Laura Kryhammer, was 20th. The Northern Irishman, the first ever, Josh Galt, was 21st. Indy Donche down in, I think it was 27th position. So that was a little bit unlucky for Indy Donche, the Dobler racing guy. Very, very impressive. And there's the little lad, Yorick Pex.